There's a certain image that comes to mind when people hear investment banker. Sharp suit, glossy shoes, a confident stride through glass doors. But beneath that polished exterior lies a world that's far tougher and far more revealing than most ever imagined. Investment banking is not a career you stumble into. It's a test of patience, intellect, and most of all, endurance. It's an industry where success isn't guaranteed even if you do everything right. And yet for those who survive it, the rewards can be life-changing. Let's start where every story begins, the interview room. Because before you can build billion-dollar deals, you have to survive the most intense job screening process on earth. Imagine walking into a room where every single person wants what you want. They all went to great schools, have polished resumes, and probably rehearsed their answers just like you did. But the game isn't won on paper, it's won in presence, preparation, and psychology. Here's what separates the ones who walk out with an offer from the ones who never get a call back. First, curiosity. Not the kind you fake to impress, but genuine curiosity about how the world of money actually works. Every future banker should treat financial news like oxygen. 15 minutes a day reading real stories, inflation, mergers, corporate earnings, because one day, those headlines won't just be headlines, they'll be your work. Second, literacy. Not in words, but in numbers. Before you ever walk into an interview, learn the 3 financial statements like they're your native language. The income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. They are the pulse, skeleton, and bloodstream of every business on earth. Understand how they breathe together, because when you can explain how cash turns into growth and how growth turns back into cash, you're no longer just a student. You're a future deal maker. But knowledge alone doesn't win interviews. People do. There's a quiet trick the best candidates use. They make the interviewer talk about themselves, because people love hearing their own story echoed back with respect. Ask questions that open doors. What made you choose this path? What's the deal you're most proud of? That single shift from self-centered answers to authentic curiosity makes you memorable. And one more thing, never treat an interview like a Q&A. Treat it like a dialogue between 2 curious minds. Ask questions that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. The goal isn't to impress, it's to connect. Because when the meeting feels like a conversation, you stop being an applicant and start being a peer. That's how careers begin. But once you're in, the real test begins. Surviving the first battlefield. The first year in investment banking feels like drinking from a fire hose while sprinting a marathon. You'll be surrounded by people who are smarter, faster, and louder than you. But the truth? The ones who rise aren't always the smartest. They're the ones who learn how to last. There are 6 unspoken rules that keep you alive and help you grow. Rule 1, find a role model. Someone a year or 2 ahead of you who's doing the job better than anyone else. You don't have to like them. You don't have to be their friend. Just watch them. Copy what works, because there's no prize for reinventing the wheel, only for spinning it faster. Rule 2, kill your ego. This is an industry built on hierarchy, and the quickest way to earn trust is to show that no task is beneath you. Run for coffee, fix slides, make copies, because the people who treat small tasks with care are the ones trusted with big ones later. Rule 3, take notes. You'd be surprised how many people think they can rely on memory in a meeting. They nod, smile, and walk away, only to forget half of what was said. It's like a waiter who takes your order without writing anything down. You'll spend the next half hour wondering if your meal will even show up. In banking, that kind of uncertainty kills confidence. Write everything down, review it, and confirm it back to your manager. It's not about memory, it's about reliability. Rule 4, outwork everyone. In this world, there's no shortcut for hours. The best analysts aren't just good, they're consistent. They show up, they stay late, they care about the quality of their work even when no one's watching. Rule 5, be available. In an environment where deals move at the speed of thought, responsiveness is gold. A missed message, a delayed response, those things leave marks that are hard to erase. Your early reputation will stick for years, so be the person people can depend on, not the one they have to chase. And rule 6, stay curious. Even after you land the job, keep reading, keep asking questions, keep learning how markets breathe. Banking rewards the relentless learner. The moment you think you've made it, you start falling behind. Because survival is just step 1. The real question is, how do you excel? From analyst to architect, At some point, you'll realize that success in banking isn't about memorizing formulas. It's about mastering judgment. Numbers tell a story, but people decide how that story ends. The great bankers? They don't sell products. They sell clarity. They tell clients what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. That's the first rule of becoming elite. Give honest advice even when it hurts, because integrity compounds faster than any bonus. When clients see that you're willing to lose a deal to protect their interests, they'll trust you forever. Second, take a stand. Don't hide behind options. Clients don't hire you to list possibilities. They hire you to guide them. Show conviction. If you believe in a course of action, own it. Courage is rare currency in this business. Third, embrace difficulty. It's tempting to copy, to take shortcuts, to Google your way through a problem, but your edge comes from the trenches, from building your own models, from fixing your own mistakes. The hours you spend wrestling with complexity are the hours that sharpen your instincts. Don't resent the grind. It's your apprenticeship in mastery. Fourth, live with discipline. Banking tests your time, your health, and your willpower. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about momentum. Keep lists, respond fast, manage your energy like it's capital. You can't control the chaos, but you can control your reaction to it. Fifth, earn freedom through excellence. People talk about work-life balance as if it's handed out. It's not. It's earned by being so good that nobody questions when you take a break. When your work speaks for itself, the world gives you space to breathe. And finally, never stop pushing. Rejection will be constant. Deadlines will crush you. Mistakes will sting. But persistence outlives talent. The best in the business don't have a secret formula. They just don't quit. The hidden lesson, investment banking at its heart isn't about money. It's about trust, endurance, and the slow building of character under pressure. You learn how to think under chaos, how to choose honesty over convenience, and how to keep showing up even when every cell in your body wants to stop. For some, this path leads to wealth. For others, it leads to wisdom. But for the rare few, it leads to both. So if you ever find yourself dreaming of that corner office, remember this: success isn't built in meetings or mergers. It's built in the invisible moments. When you read the extra article, when you rewrite the model one more time, when you stay honest, even when it costs you, that's the real making of an investment banker.